Good morning. It is Tuesday, August the 30th, and we are at the now kind of famous pond or little lake, how I call it, in Frazier Park that you see behind me. It's basically kind of dried out nearly, at least I would say 90% of the water is lost. And with us today is Jonnie Allison. Jonnie Allison is a long-term resident of Frazier Park, and also, perhaps more important, he is also the general manager of the Frazier Park Public Utility District. In other words, the local water company. Good morning, Jonnie.
Good morning.
So, what can you tell us a little bit about the situation here at the little lake?
Well, as you can see, it's draining, and nobody really is certain why, except for our engineers tell us that it's just the drought.
Okay, there are some people here in town that have make a connection or kind of blame even, dare you, the water company for the depletion of the water here at the pond. What is that about?
Yeah, some people think that a new well that we had sunk in our yard was the cause of it, but there's no science to substantiate that. We basically just replaced a well that was roughly 50 feet away. We took it, all the same pump and motor and everything, and reutilized that. And it's pumping from the same aquifer, and the aquifer is remaining strong. So there's no sign that that is the cause of it.
So also my understanding is that this little lake here is basically filled by a natural spring that uses surface water, while you are with your wells go much deeper and get the groundwater. Is that correct?
Yeah, what I've been told is that it's fed by mountain front recharge or mountain front runoff from rains coming down from the mountains. Our well is roughly 200 feet, 215 feet, and it doesn't seem to be affected at all. And this spring that they tapped into in the 90s, early 90s, 1994, I believe is pretty shallow because it was just a gravity feed. They put it in a pipe, and that's what fed it to this point.
And I also realized we are standing here right on top of the San Andreas Fault, and this pond, like many other ponds along the area, are part of the San Andreas Fault, basically on top of the fault. And we realized, we talked about that yesterday, that all the other smaller lakes already have dried out in Cuddy Valley as well as along Gorman Post Road. So obviously the drought is a major factor. So what can we do, or what can you do as public utility district here in Frazier Park to basically save this little lake?
Well, really, there's nothing we can do as far as the water company goes. It's not our park. It's the county park. On a personal level, I volunteered my time to do whatever I can do. The county supervisor's office was here last night. They also said that they would help in whatever way they can. But I think really we're going to have to wait until after the drought breaks.
This may take a while, and this may not be very well received by the wildlife that lives around here, especially the geese and the ducks and the other animals that many people in town here even know by name. So the situation is a little bit as I described it. There's a lot of blah 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 going on, but there are no concrete plans. I understand that you as a water company cannot take the lead because it is not your property, it's not your land, it's basically county land, and it has to be maintained like it is in most parts by the Parks and Recreation Department for Kern County. So indeed, Kern County Parks and Recreation and the county supervisor, David Couch, here for this district, would be the people that have to make decisions and lead the way. Nevertheless, there were some ideas at a meeting you as a district, as a local district, organized to get some water in this lake. What were these ideas?
The Friends of the Park are a great group of people that have come up with some ideas, whether they're feasible or not, with hauling water from Lebec by water trucks and dumping it in. But until they solidify some of them ideas and see what the practicality is, we really don't know what's going on. I joined the Friends of the Park last night. They seem to be spearheading this, and they work closely with the county supervisor. They've managed to get the basketball courts rebuilt and the playground equipment, and they're actively working on this right now. So on a personal level, I'm trying to help any way I can.
I also heard at the last meeting that you as a district put together for this pond. From one of the local citizens, he pointed out there is a still working spring not too far away, and it would at least be possible to get water from there, gravity fed, and bring this water to the lake. Is that something you as a water district can and will explore?
Well, that was something that was discussed. There's a lot of things that hinder that idea. One, whether or not the State Water Resource Board would even allow drinking water to be diverted to the pond in the middle of a drought. The other thing is the running the pipeline down here. It's at least a mile, and the money is a huge factor. So it's just a lot of things. I mean, I'll investigate a little bit and see what the feasibility of that is. I know we have another well that's on, it's not active now due to fluoride. That would be another option possibly to getting water here. But the problem is running the pipeline to the pond.
Right, that's very expensive, and especially if you go, like in this case, if you go uphill, you need a booster pump, and the pump needs a lot of electricity. That brings the cost even higher.
Absolutely, it's almost an insurmountable task when you're just working with a community or a county that's broke. But I know that everybody's involved, everybody's interested. The talk was about relining the pond, and there's also some issues with that from what I understand, although that's not my expertise. But we were told that it would probably require environmental studies and other things of that nature that are also costly. So I think we're just going to have to wait it out a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit concerned also living in this area that I photograph the pond basically every day, and every day within 24 hours you can see that it drops in the last days a little bit, not so massive as initially. So it's kind of a sad situation for everybody who uses the lake, and particularly the wildlife that lives at the lake, where they call even for a long time the lake's their home.
Yeah, absolutely. My 4- and 5-year-old are not happy about it at all. I wish that we could just turn on a spigot and run water in here, but there's issues with the fact that our well that feeds this side of town only produces 230 gallons a minute roughly, and the pond has been estimated to require 800,000 gallons of water to fill it, and up to 36,000 gallons a day just to sustain it. So our well can feed that, nor could the spring feed that amount of water. So I really don't know what to do.
So basically we can only hope, pray, and wait for the wisdom of the powers to be in Bakersfield and Kern County.
That's my belief.
Okay, thank you so very much, Jonnie.
All right, thank you.